What is up, guys? It is Jed Wrestling here, back again with another video. I know it's a day late. My Sundays are super busy, so I really apologize, but we're talking about the 2026 Royal Rumble today, emanating from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I have a lot to say, so how about we waste no time and we get right into the opening match. Opening up the show as per the annual tradition with the Women's Royal Rumble match. We started off with Charlotte Flair at number one and Alexa Bliss at number two, which I thought was pretty clever. It was a pretty interesting first little sequence they had when they were kind of like joke attacking each other, like that, like they'd fake throwing each other over the top rope, which I thought was pretty funny. And as things went on, we saw Lola Vice from NXT, we saw Kalani Jordan from NXT, Sol Ruka from NXT. Those were all surprises. But one thing I wanted to point out about this match, we had a lot of quickie eliminations. Like, for example, Charlotte Flair eliminated both Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax at the same time, two women who I feel like should have lasted longer in this match. And we also had Natty, who has, yeah, I guess, the new persona, the new name for Natalia. She threw Becky Lynch above the top rope in pretty quick order, and I'm like, that's really surprising. I feel like Becky Lynch should be lasting longer than that. She should be in like in the final sequence with everybody else, so that was pretty weird. And I really did not want to point this out as a criticism, but the bodysuits that the women were wearing kind of took away from the match, in my opinion, and not for the reason that you might think, because, like, they were in Saudi Arabia, so of course the women have to cover up, the women have to wear the bodysuits, and I feel like that made a lot of moments that were like, who is that? Who's that one in the corner? Because like a lot of them were wearing pretty similar attires. Like Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley, they were wearing pretty much the exact attire, and a lot of women were wearing black or white and stuff like that. And that was just like distracting, man. Like I don't know, man. I feel like that took away from the match quite a bit. When the women are wearing their usual attires, there's enough differentiation there to where you can actually tell who's who, but not when they're in Saudi, man. That was pretty unfortunate. And something else about this match, they held off until like the real surprise entrance, because I know the NXT entrants are kind of a surprise, but they held off until like the really like surprise returns until literally number 29 and number 30. Number 29 was Brie Bella, which is pretty cool. I did predict that. She had like a showing with Nikki Bella and all that where they hugged and they used some twin magic. So I guess Nikki Bella is a babyface again, and I hope Brie Bella is going to join the full-time roster and then maybe work WrestleMania 42 and then face Rhea Ripley and Io Sky for the Women's Tag Team Championships. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then we also saw Tiffany Stratton enter at number 30 as well, which is another one that I predicted, and another one that is yet again cool to see Tiffany Stratton back. And she did last until the final two. She was the final two up against the eventual winner, Liv Morgan, which hats off to WWE. I am happy that they went with the Liv Morgan victory here. I did predict Bianca Belair, but I'm glad they went with one that we didn't really expect. They went with like an unpredictable option in the form of Liv Morgan, and I'm 99% sure she's going to be fighting Stephanie Vaquer for the for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania, and maybe even picking up the victory. So yeah, I'm happy for Liv Morgan, but like there was a lot of surprise entrants that we didn't get to see here. Like, where was AJ Lee in this match? Where was like but where was Bianca Belair? Like I mentioned, where were those two? I feel like this was kind of weird in that sense. But I'm at least glad that we got Brie Bella and Tiffany Stratton back as a surprise entrance. But I would have preferred to see just a little bit more. And where was Paige as well, man? Like I would have preferred to see just a little bit more. But yeah, there's the Women's Royal Rumble. Overall, a pretty solid match to open the show, and I am happy that they went with Liv Morgan. So yeah. Jumping next into my personal favorite match of the night, Gunther versus AJ Styles. And if AJ Styles loses, he must retire. AJ Styles brought back a classic, I mean, like a modernized version of his Royal Rumble 2016 attire here, which I thought was really cool. And I hope that he stays contracted to WWE so we're able to get like new figures of AJ Styles, because I still want the Crown Jewel Perth attire when he fought John Cena. I still want the Styles Heat attire from SummerSlam, and I still want this attire. I'm assuming that he's going to sign like a Legends deal or something so we can still get AJ figures. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, this match was like as technically good as you would expect it to be between Gunther and AJ. Definitely better than their Raw match, in my opinion. The crowd was definitely pretty into AJ Styles during this match. That the Saudi crowd was singing singing his phenomenal theme song word for word, which I've never heard any crowd do before. Quote me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, them singing AJ Styles' theme song word for word was really cool. We actually saw AJ Styles' arm bleeding pretty bad in this match after he got dropped on the announce table, and we also saw AJ, of course, going after the knee of Gunther because he was still on the mission to try to get Gunther to tap out like a little you know what. We saw a lot of last minute fire moments from AJ Styles, but as time went on, it just became apparent that they were doing what they did here with Cena's last match. It was just Gunther wearing AJ down to the point where he has nothing left, and then he locks in the sleeper, and AJ tries to fight. He tries his darndest to fight, but it just doesn't work. AJ Styles passes out at the hands of Gunther, and AJ Styles' career is over, ladies and gentlemen. AJ Styles is done. First of all, I do want to point this out. I remember Saturday night's main event when it was John Cena's last match, and they did like the arm one and then arm two, and then let me show you. Like they lifted his arm, then it dropped, and then lifted his arm again. Which they just lifted AJ Styles' arm once and it dropped. But with Cena, they lifted it one and then two, and then they lifted it up again, and he went like this. So I don't know why they didn't do that with AJ Styles here. That's kind of like selective ruling, but the referee's ruling stands because he also missed a big kick to the nuts by going through to AJ Styles in this match. But AJ Styles' career is done. One of the greatest wrestlers to ever live, and I don't think that's even glaze, y'all. AJ Styles is absolutely revolutionary. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I just remember Royal Rumble 2016, not knowing any and not having any prior knowledge of who AJ Styles was, and that was actually the first Royal Rumble I ever watched live. And then I just saw AJ Styles come out. And I really didn't know what to make of him at first because obviously I didn't know who he was. I never heard of him before. But like as time went on, like man, AJ Styles was absolutely awesome as both a babyface and as a heel with like the club and the OC and all that. AJ Styles is absolutely awesome. He's still phenomenal to this day. And personally, I feel like he could have at least like 3 more years left in the ring if he wanted to. But obviously, this is his personal decision. He's choosing to retire here at the Royal Rumble of 2026 on his 10-year anniversary. So yeah, we can't really argue with it. People are saying he's either going to go to AEW or TNA to have like a true final run, but that just defeats the point of putting your career on the line, man. I'd be very shocked if that happened. Would I be happy if that happened? Yeah, but it's just like he lost his career, and like that I feel like that should be final. Like if you're putting your career on the line, that should be like a final thing, especially so Gunther can have that accolade. Like I don't know why you take that away from him. We saw Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Championship next. So obviously, I was still a bit lost in the whole AJ Styles thing and all that, especially because I did not expect him to retire here. So I was still like a little bit shocked and lost in all that a little bit. So I wasn't fully paying attention to this match, but I feel like any time that I was paying attention to this match, Sami Zayn was just getting his butt kicked. I feel like he didn't get any offense in this match whatsoever. He did like this tope con hilo to the outside and then hurt his back. And then it was just Drew McIntyre targeting Sami Zayn's back for the entirety of the match, putting him through the announce table, and then hitting him with two claymores to pick up the victory. And Sami Zayn's son continues to be disappointed in him, according to Drew McIntyre. This match, from what I saw, was just really basic, and I feel like it was really one sided. It just overall felt like filler, like between the AJ Gunther match and then the Men's Royal Rumble. This kind of felt like a bridge gap to like let the crowd calm down a little bit. And I don't feel like a world championship match for the top prize in the entire company should feel like that. But I guess that's just what it came between, especially since like it's Sami Zayn. It's not exactly like Drew versus Randy Orton or Drew versus Cody Rhodes or something. And the fact that we've seen this match a bunch of times before, I guess that's the reason why it kind of felt like that. But I'm happy Drew is having a long run with the belt, and I hope he holds it into WrestleMania. And then the main event we were all waiting for, the Men's Royal Rumble match of 2026. Wow, man, was this the worst Royal Rumble match of all time? In my opinion, I don't believe it was the worst Royal Rumble match of all time, but this match was just really unmemorable. Like 2 days later, if I didn't have this setup if I didn't have to do this review and all that, and if I didn't have to refresh myself, I probably couldn't tell you that all that much about what happened in this match. But we started off with Obafemi as well as Bronathan Breaker, because we started off with Obafemi at number one and Bron Breaker at number two. And that they did this whole thing on the kickoff show where Paul Heyman was in Adam Pearce's face, like, you really had him draw number two. You really made him draw number two, man. I'm assuming they only did that because the production bots they had on SmackDown during Axiom's entrance, when they accidentally showed that Braun Breaker would be entering number one in the Royal Rumble, they ended up changing it to number two. That was a pretty nasty production bot, so at least they made the most of that. Obafemi and Braun Breaker, you have like a really awesome like opening sequence to have here, and then this masked guy comes out and attacks Braun Breaker. He hits him with a super kick, hits him with a stomp, and Obafemi just eliminates Braun Breaker. And I'm like, but at the same time, it's like I'm glad they're doing something unpredictable here because like I literally predicted Braun Breaker to win the Royal Rumble. I would not have ever envisioned something like this happening. But at the same time, you had a really good opening sequence between Braun and Oba, and then it just couldn't even happen because Braun Breaker got eliminated in like I believe like 7 or 8 seconds after the mask guy attacked him. And who was the mask guy? I feel like Seth Rollins is a little bit too obvious. People are saying it was Finn Balor, which I feel like doesn't make much sense. People are also saying it was Austin Theory, it was Logan Paul, people like that. Honestly, I really don't know. I guess we'll just kept kind of see what happens because like we just had the mask guy angle with Austin Theory, and honestly, I don't even feel like putting my prediction for who it is out there, man. I'm just gonna say it's Austin Theory again, and Austin Theory is gonna turn on the Vision or whatever because like they just do this whole mask thing like we just had it at like a month ago with Austin Theory. Like I don't know about this, man. But we saw Obafemi go on his warpath. He eliminated Solo Sikoa, Rey Mysterio, Matt Cardona, and Rusev. I do wish Rey Mysterio could have lasted longer in this match, but at least we had Obafemi putting in his monster performance. Then as time went on, we had people like Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes enter. Saw Mr. Iguana as our first real surprise entrant from AAA, of course, which was pretty cool to see. We saw Powerhouse Hobbs as well. He's now going by Royce Keys. I guess I'm excited to see Powerhouse Hobbs in WWE. The name Royce Keys is definitely going to take some getting used to, but he had a solid showing here. He went up against Cody Rhodes. So yeah, there's Royce Keys in WWE. I just hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Now to the inside of the ring, we had El Grande Americano enter this match, and then we had the original El Grande Americano enter this match. Of course, Chad Gable. He had the whole Chad Gable El Grande Americano theme song going, and dude, this spot was really fun, man. You had the El Grande Americanos, and that they were going at it a little bit. The original El Grande Americano actually eliminated the new El Grande Americano before Trick Williams eliminated the original El Grande Americano. And technically, I got a prediction for a surprise entrant right because I said Chad Gable. So I guess Chad Gable was indeed in this match. He's looking jacked as ever, or the original El Grande Americano is looking jacked as ever, if you know what I'm saying. So imagine like El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. Winner gets to keep the gimmick. I feel like that'd be pretty funny. So yeah, I did enjoy the El Grande spot. Then we saw an LA Knight come in, which I thought was really cool. Kind of a predictable surprise entrant, but he still did pretty much exactly what I predicted him to do in my predicting every entrant in the men's Royal Rumble. He eliminated Austin Theory. He eliminated Bronson Reed, the guy who originally took him out. He didn't eliminate Logan Paul, which would have been pretty cool to see. But yeah, it's definitely nice to see LA Knight back, and he got a big reaction as always. Yeah, we saw Brock Lesnar enter the fray. He starts taking it to LA Knight, taking it to everybody in the ring. We saw like a stare down with Obafemi, which I thought was really cool. And Brock Lesnar ended up eliminating Obafemi from the Royal Rumble pit. People are saying it should have been like the other way around, but I feel like if anybody was going to eliminate Obafemi from this match, it should have been Brock Lesnar. So yeah, there we go. We saw Brock Lesnar eliminating Obafemi. And Obafemi had a phenomenal showing in this match, by the way. He looked awesome. This might be a nitpick, and I wouldn't really have added too much to the Royal Rumble in my opinion. But just to make this match a little bit more memorable, you remember when Ray Phoenix came in really randomly between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, and then he just kind of got dispatched. He really didn't do anything. I feel like that spot should have gone to Kit Wilson. We should have seen Kit Wilson in this match, and then he calls Brock Lesnar toxic. Well, he has like a microphone in his hand. He calls Brock Lesnar toxic, toxic, toxic. and then Brock Lesnar hits it with an F5 and eliminates him. That would have been a really funny moment, and definitely would have made this match more memorable instead of just like Ray Phoenix coming in. 'Cause I know they just had Ray Phoenix there for convenience because like he was just in Saudi Arabia to do that match with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown, so they just had him in there due to convenience. But I don't know. I feel like it was really random because he just got eliminated pretty much as soon as he arrived. One thing's for sure, this Royal Rumble was toxic, 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 especially when Jey Uso entered at number 25 and Brock Lesnar got eliminated during Jey Uso's entrance. I'm like, what? But like the cameras were barely focused. I don't know if this was a botch. It felt like a botch because the cameras were like barely focused on him whatsoever, and then he just got eliminated by Cody Rhodes and LA Knight. And it's just like, wow, there goes Brock Lesnar during Jey Uso's entrance. That's like really weird. And we didn't even get the Brock Lesnar versus Gunther face off in this match. We obviously didn't get the Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker face off because Braun Breaker was the first elimination, so we didn't get to see that. We didn't even get to see Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton go at it, man. Like I don't know, I feel like Brock Lesnar was kind of just an afterthought overall in this match. Like except when he eliminated Obafemi, I feel like everything else he did was just kind of mid, and they only really had him in this match for the sake of it. Like he didn't really explore like any new stories or anything. There was nobody really built up by eliminating him because his elimination was like barely focused on. So yeah, there's Brock Lesnar. Just overall, this match was really unmemorable, especially when you look at La Parka. Man, they had freaking La Parka in this match from AAA, and I even say this as someone who sometimes watches AAA, not every week, but I'm aware of who La Parka is, and even I'm like, he got no reaction from the Saudi crowd. Nobody in that crowd gave a crap about La Parka in this match. And like I don't know. Like if this was a Royal Rumble in America, I'm like, okay, maybe we can bring out La Parka or something, or maybe even somebody else from AAA, like maybe Hijo de Vikingo. That might have been pretty cool. But I don't know, like that La Parka got no reaction whatsoever, especially when you look at the surprises in this match that we didn't see, man. Where were the Hardy Boys? Where was Dolph Ziggler? Where was Mike Santana? Like, where were our TNA people in this match? Where was Joe Hendry? Like, he's signed to WWE now, and I know he has like a match on NXT coming up on Tuesday, but like I feel like they could have had him in this match to get like a big reaction out of the crowd. Where was Santino Marella? Like we could have seen Santino Marella from TNA make like a surprise appearance in this match. Where were the people who are on WWE's active roster, like Kit Wilson? Where was Carmelo Hayes at? Where was Dominic Mysterio if he's cleared to wrestle? Where was Finn Balor? They said they told Finn Balor that the Royal Rumble was full, and then they overrode that a day later by declaring Brock and Damian and Ilya and The Miz. And we saw on the graphics that the Royal Rumble was very much not full, so why not just put Finn Balor in this match? And of course, I'm not going to get as upset about this one because there was never any concrete evidence that we were going to see it. There was never any concrete evidence that he is actually coming back to WWE. There's still no concrete evidence that he's even out of AEW by this point, and it's Chris Jericho. But I just want to ask this question: where was Y2J Chris Jericho at the Royal Rumble of 2026? It would have been way more interesting than seeing Gunther come in at number 30, especially considering that Gunther had already had a match that night. I don't know, man. The surprises in this match kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And I feel like all of them were pretty mid, except for LA Knight and maybe Mr. Iguana. And here's when things started getting really mid, man. We saw Roman Reigns coming in, of course. Then we saw people like Jacob Fatu, and then Penta, and then Randy Orton, and then Gunther. That's no surprises stretched across the entire 26 through 30 range. And all those people were already declared into the match, so that's pretty disappointing. And overall, we didn't even see many like interactions. Like Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns just had that aura farming standoff, and then they just didn't really do anything this entire match. Accidentally hit Randy with a Cody cutter, and then Randy didn't even try to get payback on him. We just saw Cody Rhodes get eliminated after Jacob Fatu threw him over the top rope, and then Drew McIntyre came in with the Claymore, dropping him down to the floor. And then the final four sequence, man, this was like the most rushed final four sequence I've ever seen in a Royal Rumble, man. Seriously. I can quote this entire thing from memory. It was Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, Gunther, and Randy Orton. They start going at it. Roman Reigns eliminates Logan Paul. Randy Orton RKO's Roman Reigns. Gunther eliminates Randy Orton, and then Gunther tries to put Roman Reigns to sleep for what feels like 5 minutes before Roman Reigns just powers through and he throws Gunther over the top rope to win the Royal Rumble. And as soon as Braun Breaker got eliminated, I was certain like Roman Reigns is definitely gonna win this match, dude. And keep in mind that was 8 seconds after the match had started. I immediately knew who was gonna win after that. Because like Roman Reigns, I don't know, man. This was just really predictable. Because like I feel like we've known like ever since Roman Reigns declared for the Rumble, like he's definitely gonna win. He's definitely gonna go back to the world title scene at WrestleMania and probably more than likely beat Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship, or maybe even CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know, but we're definitely going to get another Roman world title reign once WrestleMania 42 is over. And I don't know, I feel like when you're in the Royal Rumble and you're not showing up like at all before the Royal Rumble, you're just doing like video packages, like you didn't even declare out of your own mouth, you should like have a story going into the Royal Rumble. I know people are going to be like, he's Roman Reigns, he doesn't need a story. Yes, he does, man. You remember the Royal Rumble 2023 when Cody Rhodes didn't appear at all in the lead up to the Royal Rumble? We were convinced and we were behind him because he had these video packages where he was actually like talking and training and doing stuff in the build to his return, and he was talking about like what the Royal Rumble, what winning that would mean to him, and what the World Heavyweight, what the World Championship, winning it at WrestleMania would mean to him. We didn't get any of that with Roman Reigns. It was just a highlight reel of Roman Reigns. It's like with like Rumble, Riyadh Reigns, so some cringy crap like that. And then Roman just like he didn't we didn't see him in the flesh. We didn't see him talk. We didn't hear his voice or see his face or anything. And dude, I feel like when you're the most predictable option to win the Royal Rumble, because in 2023, the most predictable option to win was Cody Rhodes, but we were behind him in that case because of the video packages that he did and because there was actually a clear motive for him to like win the Royal Rumble. Here with Roman Reigns, there was no motive. There was just like, okay, Roman Reigns is in the Royal Rumble, he's gonna win. There you go. And then you consider the people in this match who had stories. Now, don't get me wrong, I did not want to see Cody Rhodes win this match whatsoever, but he did have a story. I would have wanted to see Randy Orton win this match. If I'm going with my heart, Randy Orton's my favorite wrestler of all time, and he definitely had some pretty intriguing stuff going into this match with like Cody and everything. Braun Breaker had a really good story going into this match, and he was the first dang elimination, which I still haven't gotten over. And like, man, dude, this Rumble was not bad. This Rumble, I mean, it was a little bad, but this Rumble was not horrible. It had its moments, but overall, I feel like this was underwhelming. This was unmemorable. And it was decidedly predictable. Roman Reigns is going to WrestleMania. I don't hate Roman. I love Roman Reigns, man. I freaking love Roman Reigns. It's just that this was so predictable. If I were to give a final rating for the 2026 Royal Rumble pay-per-view as a whole, it is difficult, not gonna lie, because on one hand, you have like the men's Royal Rumble I was crapping all over, and then you got Sammy and Drew for the WWE Championship, and then you got the women's Royal Rumble, which was pretty underwhelming as well. But I feel like AJ versus Gunther and AJ's overall retirement and like like what with the way the crowd was during that match, just I feel like everything kind of aligned for that match. So that's going to give this show a solid 3.5 out of 10 for me. But yes, there is WWE Royal Rumble 2026. Let me know down in the comments down below what you thought, and I would always greatly appreciate it if you were to smash a like on this video, subscribe to Jed Wrestling, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. But yes, Jed Wrestling out.